You're tuned in to RX Radio.
So I just typed in fitness trends on Instagram. We're gonna run down the list, but make sure that you guys subscribe so that you get access to this every single week. And we'll talk about level 1 in a minute. But to give that, its due time, we'll put our brains behind that. But fitness trends right now. Here's what we got. We've got Pilates, we got Run Club, Peptides, very well backlit but way too dark gyms. Let's see. We got people trying to live forever, TRT, plyometrics, and people that are not athletic training like athletes.
Are you putting this into Google Images?
This was so on Instagram. You can just search things, and they just give you like a little blurb at the top.
Man, then, you're playing 4D internet chess, my friend. That is wild. I didn't know you're so ahead of the curve.
I don't know if I am. I'm just a guy who does things, and sometimes I stumble upon things. And that's what I stumbled upon today.
Well, let's dissect that list, because other than a few notable things which had 1980s analogs, that list could have very well been a list from the 1980s. Yeah. Jogging broke out onto the scene, very Forrest Gump style. So run clubs are just Tinder meets jogging.
Yeah, I think they're like the equivalent of going to a bar to meet a girl for guys that don't drink.
Oh, man, like I don't drink, and I haven't drank alcohol in fucking 18 years, and we could do a whole podcast just on that.
That'll be the living forever one.
I think I would rather drink than chafe on a first date. I'm just saying, as someone who's I'm not really an alcohol guy. I would go back to the bottle if that was in the cards, like how you got the option of, and it's like, because that's a tough one, dude. I mean, like, so I'm not confident enough in my aerobic fitness to partake in that in a social endeavor, right?
No.
Because like, here's the thing. Are you thinking you got a run club? I just moved back to Toronto. They're fucking everywhere.
Yeah.
Let me ask you. And like, no judgment, scientific inquiry only.
Yeah. Science.
Is the front of the pack getting together more or the back of the pack? Because you can't, front of the pack ain't going, right? It's not like, okay, let's just call a spade a spade. Guys, stay with me. This is not, we shouldn't be here, but we're here. You started this.
I did, and I'm here for it.
A guy's going to go, a guy will date on the back of the pack. A guy does not give a shit about the aerobic capacity. Yeah. A girl's not dating the back of the pack. You're not schlepping your fucking heels, and then track star up at the front is like, hey, like the psychology there is too nuts. You're on a game show. Run clubs are dating game shows.
Yeah, it's very Darwinistic. Like, you either fight or you flight, and no one that goes to a fucking run club is fighting anyone.
Yeah, so but you can't even run. Slower guy,
huh?
I mean, I'm trying to see where I have an advantage here as the slow guy.
So,
but like,
the guys at the front, if you're like being the fast person at a run club is like medaling at the Special Olympics.
Oh God, Jesus!
Did I?
Christ. Okay. Okay.
There's a sport that revolves around this.
Wait, which one?
Well, you can run marathons, you can do triathlons, you can sprint, you can do the 100.
I gotta ask a question because I don't know. I legitimately don't know the answer to this, and this may be a lot. I didn't know we were gonna get here so fast.
We're here, guys.
Marathon, marathon in the Special Olympics. Yes, no.
That's above my. Let me type it into Instagram search bar.
That is a genuine inquiry.
All right, hold on. You keep going. I'll figure this out.
I'll let you figure out how to clear your search history after this. Okay, so what do we have? We have Run Club, Peptides, Pilates. Again, like these things just circle the wagon. Like the trends are Trends are so repetitive. And the only thing more constant than the trends is the thing that works. That is the at the core of all of this, is they're all circling the wagon here. And you got to lend credence to trends where they win, right? Trends win because, like, I think the run clubs are a good example, right? Run clubs, I would say, are this decade's CrossFit. Fair?
I almost call Pilates that.
Nah, not enough men in Pilates.
What's that?
Not enough men in Pilates.
That's fair.
Not enough heterosexual men in Pilates. Not that CrossFit was really, but I digress. How many people could we offend? Subscribe to the show. Subscribe to the show. What up? Yeah, you'll get yours too. Everyone catches it here at RX Radio.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I can see that. Like HYROX too, in the same kind of boat.
Sure.
HYROX and Run Club, I feel like there's a lot of parallel there. They both wear shoes that look dumb.
Yeah, what is with that? They all look like Scuba Steve out there.
Yeah, some of these shoes are insane. Oh, so I did find out the answer, by the way.
I thought we were just going to skirt that whole thing. I thought we had an out, bro. I thought we were just done with it.
I got a little sidetracked, but yeah,
no
marathon events have been held at the Summer Paralympic Games for both men and women since 1984.
So there's a joke about a little sidetracked in there somewhere as we talk about Special Olympics marathon running, but I'm just gonna leave it out there. I'm just gonna say there's a joke there. You guys figure it out. Okay, interesting. But I guess that's like, now hold on, man, we shouldn't be doing this. Paralympics or Special Olympics?
So that was Paralympics. I don't know the difference.
Yes, you fucking do.
Oh, is this the guy that shoots up your bathroom versus?
No, right, yeah, the Oscar Pistorius.
Yeah.
So I think para is of sound mind and not able body. I think special, we're looking, we start getting on some disorders lists and there's some chromosomes out of line and shit like that, right?
Yeah. So I don't know if it exists in the Special Olympics, but there's some sort of affiliation between the Special Olympics and the Boston Marathon.
Okay. Between the Paralympics or the Special? Special. Okay. Can we get off this topic? I feel like I'm walking on eggshells here. I like the podcast and my job. Let's skirt this with minimal damage until.
Yeah. So maybe I'll make my point in a less offensive way. I'm saying here's the parallel that works perfectly here. Being the fastest guy in the run club is like getting the best time on your WOD at a CrossFit class. It's like big fish, small pond.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Small something else. But yes, 100% agree. That's much less offensive. Because the thing is, you probably know going in, right? Like, But do you think there's like an air? I guess it would depend on the host of it. Because like I saw Lululemon, there's a store across the street from where I live now, and they have a run club. And like that seems like if there's like a big leagues, like Lululemon run club, like,
yeah,
a higher end brand, pretty expensive shit, kind of like, in vogue. Like I feel like the pressure there. As opposed to like a coffee shop puts one together,
right?
Fucking the Angry Squirrel coffee shop, probably a little. You're not seeing any 5-minute miles. The Angry Squirrel coffee shop run club,
right?
But Lululemon, it's like, I just couldn't imagine. Like, I don't know. I am such a fan of resistance training in gyms that, like any other form of exercise where I have to factor in the social constraints, hierarchies, like it's just so off-putting to me. Like the thing that most people look to as a adjunct to exercise that actually gets them a lot of buy-in, like the community aspect of it, is such a detractor. Like I could not be pushed more further away from an activity than something that is entirely pro-social. Right. Like I love training by myself with my headphones in.
That's so good. It's so peaceful. And I think the difference is someone that takes something seriously, like a serious athlete training for whatever they're going to do, like there's some sort of that's sacred to them. There's some sort of respect for the craft itself, right? And a social component, yeah, there's going to be a social component even at the higher levels, and there's kind of community around that, but it's not necessarily directly interjected into training. It's around training, right? Like that's all of our pre-script coaches, that's the thing that we have in common is training, right? Everyone has a passion for training. They love training. They want to know more about it. There's curiosity there. And that's something you could form community around. But like we've trained together hundreds of times. When we're training, we're training. We're not like, we're not gossiping about whatever's happening at Run Club. Like I don't want to have a conversation in the middle of my exercise. I think that's the
And
distinction.
I think it's I think it's a principle of high performers in any space, right? Because I think like one of the unique parts about our ability to reach coaches is we reach coaches that don't suck. And
Yeah.
we tend to not ever have to contend with coaches that suck. And one of the marks of when I'm in the company of a coach that sucks is a like pro social about the wrong things. Like if we want to talk
Right.
training when we're not training, absolutely. Yeah, sure. Right. I'm all for it. But like if you want to talk about the run club drama ever, like it's not, and I'm being around high performers in all spaces, like in the business world, like you're kind of too busy to be pro social, but you're doing it in the opportunity of like pushing the body of work or the field ahead. Because I think a lot of the difference between the trainers that suck and the trainers that don't suck, and I don't want to say that all trainers that don't suck work with us, but when trainers don't suck, they tend to towards us because suck relative to what? Well, suck relative to like the majority of people out there, right? It's all relative. Is they look at personal training as a career, right? I think that is the defining characteristic. Just like Eliud Kipchoge, who ran the first sub 3 hour marathon. Or no, sorry, sub 2. What am I saying? Denai ran a sub 3. Can you believe that?
Yeah, that's
Fucking
insane.
animal dog. Shout out Denai. Shout out
Dude.
J Marsh. Clip it. Put it here. Denai's the go to go. But you took a guy, Eliud Kipchoge. He ain't run clubbing it. There's nothing social. Like it's work. Because why? Because running's a career, right? And like I think people realize now, or people are starting to open their eyes to the fact that personal training is a career. And look, when we go to L3, there's a social component to it, undoubtedly. But the social component is being able to display your skill set amongst peers. Because when you're a personal trainer and you don't feel like it's a career, you don't feel like you have peers, you have people you work with, right? But in our profession, like, you and I have been lucky to do what we do at the level we've done it for a decently long time. Like we have, like I would call them friends, but we have like peers that are noteworthy members of the community that have influence, that hold positions of high power and status, where it's like we could pick up. Like I did a thing with Vernon Griffin a couple months ago. Vernon is a peer because this is a profession. No one would say that Vern isn't a professional, right? Like Megan Young, I was speaking with her, and I'm not trying to name drop, but these are all names that people know. And if you want to know them and you want to be at that level, you have to embody your work as they do as a professional. And when you do that, sure, you can be their friends, but in order to get your hand stamped in this world, you have to be a peer first, right? Like a lot of the people that, and you and I have kind of struggled with, at least I've felt a little bit of a, I don't want to say imposter syndrome, but I feel like with the social media presence of the business and the podcast, and that this is something that we, amongst other things, have given attention to for so long, that I'm in circles with people sometimes who are just strength coaches and they've done that at the highest level. I feel like I have something to prove, right? Like I feel like when I'm in a weight room, and I'm around people who are like career strength coaches, and I've done it before at a decently high level professionally and then privately, but then I feel like, because we have an Instagram account and a business, that I actually need to put on, that I need to like, I'm going to be the last person to say a word because we talk on the internet for a job. But it's like when we're in the gym, the way you're going to get that respect is if you treat that part of your job as a career, right? I'm not a fucking bartender, you know what I mean? And I feel like personal trainers can get lost in that dialogue with themselves. And I think one of the nice parts about with what the people we've been able to attract is that we attract career personal trainers, right? The word coach, I think, is born out of an insecurity of the word personal trainer. But like you know, when you're at L3 and you're in a room full of trainers that are like, you know, stepping up to train the best athletes in the world, you're like, oh no, like you can be a career personal trainer and be really fucking good at your job and make a shit ton of money at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah. It's an honor to be able to surround ourselves with coaches like that and trainers like that have made a career of this. And I think there's something to be said about that population where it's not necessarily about talking about what you know, right? It's you exemplify what you know when you're at that level. And that's kind of what you're saying, like be the last one to talk, is that the way you conduct yourself in a training situation, in even your personal workout, that's going to exemplify the level at which you execute. And I've like, again, not to brag or anything, but like I take my training very seriously, and I have ever since I started. There's always a purpose to it for me. And I've been in situations where like when I train, I like to lock in. I want noise canceling on, or like if I'm doing Olympic lifts, it's like AirPods in. Like I don't want to be distracted. I don't want to have a conversation in between sets a lot of times. Like this is my time to like focus on what's in front of me, not worry about my inbox, not worry about the text messages that I'm getting, and just kind of focus on training. And I've had people like come up to me like, because I try to be pretty unapproachable when I'm working out, because I don't want to look like I'm having a good time and invite in conversation or whatever. But I've had people that come up to me after training like, hey, like you look like you know what you're doing. Like what do you do? And that's not like, I'm not trying to flex, I'm not trying to put on. It's like, because there is this mutual respect between people that know their craft, know their profession, and the way that they conduct themselves as they do it. So if you act like a professional in that gym setting, which that's your professional setting, if you're a trainer, if you're a coach, whatever title you want to go by there, like that's the office. Like you're going into the office, and if you're traveling, if you're in a different atmosphere, like you treat it in the same level of professionalism that you do when you're in your own gym. And like people are going to notice. The people that are on that same wavelength, they're going to notice that, all right, this guy knows something. Like there's something about the way that this guy moves that tells me there's something different there. And that's the thing, that's where that mutual respect comes from.
Yeah, I don't think people realize it. Like, if you were to go in, I'm trying to think of an analogy. Like, I think of it like a chef or a lawyer, right? These are real professions, right? You're a professional. You have a designation. Like, if you're a lawyer and you just pop in down to the old courthouse, and you think you're just gonna saunter in and like start objecting the defense or whatever, and you're dressed in blue jeans and you call the judge bro just because it's your off day, you're like, no, you get fucking thrown out on the street, you get thrown in jail, you get held in contempt of court. Like there's a standard that's set inside of a courthouse, and it's very apparent. Like if anyone's ever been to court, like you address the judge a certain way. If you don't dress your honor, blah blah blah, like they will let you know. And regardless of whether you're on the clock or not, and in a similar way of like whether you're taking the stand or you're just passing by because you left your briefcase, like if you're in a courthouse, you have to operate as a professional. Now, if you're in a courthouse because you're fucking strung up in trains and you're or chains and you're a felon, they expect you to be in blue jeans, right? They're not now. They will see it well that if you show up in a suit, that you get treated better, that you show respect for the court. But like the gym is a great analogy, and I never really kind of put it that way because when we train with people, I think of it like that scene in Batman, in the Heath Ledger Batman, where he purposely gets himself arrested and he's sitting in the interrogation room and he's sitting in there with the police commissioner and like sort of the second in command, and the Commissioner Gordon like walks out and the second command is kind of sitting there staring at him, and he says this really famous scene. He's like, he goes, "How many of your friends have I killed?" And then the guy's like 5 or something like that. And he was 5. And his hair's all fucking strung out and green paint on his face or whatever. And he goes, in death, they say you figure out who people really are. Do you want to know how many of your friends were cowards? I think of that. It's so fucked up. I think of that when I train with people. Yeah. And it's regardless of the setting, man. Like regardless of the setting. Right? It's, I run into PTs at local gyms, whether they've taken Prescript or they've heard of us or they recognize the shirt or whatever. And like I'm the first person to be like, you want to train? Because I ain't getting coffee with you. Don't pick my brain. I don't got time. I'll train with you though. But I've taken that shit serious. And man, the number of cowards I've met. Holy. Because they get there and they come in with their blue jeans on, metaphorically speaking. And they're like, so like, tell me your story. And I'm like, my guy, my story is Bulgarian split squats. It's over there. This is where it starts. And like this, I need you to fucking, because the guy who comes in and like outdoes me in that kind of guy who comes in and just like has a note on his phone and goes, this is a workout. And has his headphones in. I'm like, yo, this is my guy. Like this is a colleague, right? Yeah. This is a colleague. A guy who comes to mind. And here's the best fucking example of this. And it should hopefully hold some weight. Zachary Roberts, for the longest time, did not work in fitness coaching. Has like a crazy can't talk about it real job. It shows up, I don't know, 265, veins out of veins, like absolutely paper thin, just skin shredded. And like I've trained with him a few times. And mind you, like this guy at the time wasn't taking on clients. Brilliant, like smart, well, probably one of the smarter people I've ever met across the board outside of fitness or inside. And I remember the first time I trained with him and I was like, oh, this is a peer. This is a colleague. This is a friend. Like this is a guy. And it's like, once the guy's fucking stiff leg deadlifting 585 and you're like, oh, so I'm the bitch. Okay. Interesting. Right. I didn't consider I am the coward. But it's like, that is such, and here's you touched on something else that I find super interesting. And I've been the beneficiary of this more than a few times. You said when people see you move that way, they'll come up to you and they're usually, and I'm paraphrasing, but they're usually high performers in their space. If I may, real recognize real. So real. If you don't, if someone doesn't know the gym, which is going to be the bulk of your clientele, but they know what professionalism looks like, they're going to, I remember Don Saladino told a story on the podcast. I believe it was of, there's 2 giant Miami gym owners. One owns Anatomy and one owns Legacy. Both played football. I don't think it was Mark Magna. Anyways, there's a gym owner down in Miami who has like a chain of gyms. And he started off training at Equinox in New York City decades prior to owning his own gym. And one day he was walking 5 a.m. and he saw like a wrapper or maybe a paper towel or something. And it was like kind of by the cardio section. He stopped and he picked it up and he put it in the trash. He was a personal trainer. He's not a janitor. Picked it up and then some guy on the treadmill or on the Stairmaster says, hey man, like, is that yours? Did you pick that up? He goes, no, but like, I work here and I want it to be clean. So I just picked it up. He goes, okay. 20 years later, that guy was an investor to help him open his first gym. And he told him that's, like that little moment of being a professional, told him everything that he needed to know about who this guy was as a person. And he was, he then invested in his gyms and both Legacy, whether it's Legacy or whether it's Anatomy, I know they're both doing very well in the Miami area. So it's like, that goes to show you, like, here's a guy who's a dog in the finance world in there at 5 a.m. who has to pick up, and maybe even quite literally, not even metaphorically, pick up trash around his office. And he probably owns a joint, right? He's CEO or a founder or something like that. And now does he know about this guy's proclivity of, how he likes to train? Does he know about his degrees or even what a proper degree is in our space? No, but does he know professionalism when he sees it? Absolutely. Right. And that's something with L3, like we've had a couple come to Jesus moments of like, no athlete gets up off the floor unassisted. Where's that guy? Where's that guy's water bottle? Where the fuck's his towel? Right? Like this gym is cleaner than when you left it. And it's like that, those become the big takeaways because we're not sitting here being the director of sanitation. We're sitting there being, you need to be a professional, right? And that's all the things that encompasses professionalism. It's not about your knowledge base or either your skill set, it's your mindset, right? And that's where, like, I think a lot of people have a lot to learn in this industry, but it starts with the idea of recognizing that this is a profession, right?
Yeah.
And there's two types of people in this field: those who are successful, that are career trainers who treat it as such, and those who treat it as a job they have and they're kind of embarrassed of the title. It's like, all right, man, like let's then go find something else. Cause like, you know, if you treat this like a job, it will be. But if you treat it like a career, holy shit, man. Like we're idiot. I mean, I'm an idiot. And you spend an inordinate amount of time talking to me. So I think by, you know, between that and the head trauma, like, but God damn it if we're not professional.
Yeah, no, we're both idiots. That's for damn sure. But
if you're curious, just rewind to the start of the podcast where we were talking about marathon running in the Special Olympics. Just in case you're unaware of how stupid we are, that's a quick reminder. However,
no, I'm as dumb as it gets when it comes to dumb. But the difference between me and the regular dummy who does personal training is, and this is for a lot of coaches that we work with, is there's a certain level of pride that I take in the product that I deliver, right? Because as a trainer, the product that you deliver to your clientele is an experience, right? We're not selling them a physical product. We're taking some of their time and we're giving them an experience in exchange for that, right? Some of their time and money, I guess. But the difference between someone who does this at a very high level is they understand what that experience entails for the client. So it's not just delivering, it's actually what they're receiving. And that's the ability to have a perception around what that client is going to receive and how they're going to receive it. That's the difference between someone that is a professional in the space and someone who does this as a job, right? Because someone that does this as a job, they may only have enough knowledge or depth of understanding in whatever they're delivering that they can only focus on their side of things. Like, what am I going to do with this client? What do I need to do? Like, someone's on the cable stack. What's next? Like it's very self-centered around them. And not someone who's probably new to the profession. Maybe they haven't been doing it that long. They don't have much experience. There's a lot of thought around what they're going to do internally versus someone who's a professional in the space. That pride in delivering that experience is around the user experience, not exactly your experience in that moment. It's like, yeah, I'm probably going to be uncomfortable. If I'm training all day, like I'm going to be on my feet, like I'm going to have to take a piss really fucking bad. Like I'm probably skipping meals or just like eating bars and shakes in between. Like it's not necessarily focused around what I'm going through. It's focused around that client experience. Like I'm going to be there early. I'm going to be ready. I'm going to be set up. I'm going to have 4 different variations of every exercise in my head if this isn't available and that's not available. I'm going to have a conversation with them. I'm going to be personal. Like I'm going to understand where they're at both physically and mentally coming into the session. I might have to scrap everything I had planned, but I still have a plan B, and like making it seamless as possible of an experience on their end. And like metaphorically picking up the trash around the gym. I remember when I was coaching through chiropractic school, I was coaching at a chiropractic gym. I got all the shit shifts, like the end of the day, the people that were just fucking tired. And like when you're in that scenario, you learn like, all right, these people are just fucking like they're trying to get through it. Like I need to provide the energy in this room. Like if there's a net energy of 1 in this room and they're negative 0.5, I need to be 1.5 right now. Like I need to make up for where this person's lacking. And like picking up on like the nuances of those things and understanding like, all right, this is the level that this person's at. Like maybe they're at a 0.9 today, so I only need to be a 0.1. And like just understanding that energy balance around like, all right, what do they need out of this experience? And then taking pride in the product that you're actually delivering and the experience that you're delivering to them. I think that's a huge part of the difference between someone that's doing training as a job versus someone that's making a career out of that.
And I'm going to take that a step further because I feel like that what you just laid out as a differentiator is 100% the difference between, job versus career. And I think something that career trainers do really well, and I've seen this be a part of a transition from someone who is like, oh, maybe I'm going to do this, maybe I'm not, to like, no, this is what I do as a career. One of the steps in being that, not necessarily becoming that, in being that, because it's a choice you can just make. It doesn't have to be this long journey, right? Like I want to become the best coach. It's like, I mean, you get to a certain level of education where you could just be that, right? Like there's no process. You just show up and you be good, right? Like it's not like this drawn out thing. Like we're not gatekeeping good. We're just trying to illuminate the process of no process. Like a lot of people are looking for something they can't find, that can't be found, right? They're looking to be the best. It's like, what does that mean? And why are you not that? Just be better.
Be better. Just be better.
But like, here's the classic one. I'm opening the window because I'm hot. Got me all riled up, running my special marathons.
And he's gone.
Doesn't even know how to open the window. Okay, we're back. Is taking accountability for your client's lack of results.
Yeah.
We love when our clients get the results, we sit back and we go, "You're welcome." I know that was tremendous, but we don't ever question ourselves when our clients don't hit the mark, right? Fucking client can't stay on the diet. Fucking client doesn't do the training, and they don't do their cardio or whatever. It's like career personal trainers and successful ones will go, okay, that's a me problem, right? Yeah. I'm on the case. How do we do this? How do we meet this client here where they are behaviorally and start to intervene where it actually matters rather than just showing up, punching the clock, reps and sets. All right, have your broccoli and your chicken or whatever the fuck. I'll see you next Tuesday. A career trainer makes the choice to be accountable.
Yeah.
Not to become like it's like it'll cost you nothing. You have to take zero, and we sell educational courses, but like the big crux is like you can show up tomorrow and choose to do this. Like you can show up tomorrow and like audit yourself and go to your clients and be like, hey, you wanted to be here. Are you there? Why aren't you there? How can I help you get there? Because that's essentially what you're paying me for, right? Like, my diet goes really bad on my off days. Okay, what if we trained every day? We cut our sessions down, right, to half hours. What if we spread it out that way? Or I wrote you different work. I really don't like, or when I train at my condo gym, I'm like, oh, we've never had that conversation. We didn't know, right? So that's something where it's like, you can just be a good coach. You don't have to become a good coach. Like it's baffling to me to watch people. And the bitch of it is they usually have more than enough knowledge base. And again, we're kind of shooting ourselves in the foot, but at the same time, it's like, it is a lesson that I think people need to realize and not even learn. You have to realize that this is there, that you being a great coach is there, right? Like, barring, and I think we can speak in those absolute terms, just understanding that the majority of people who have found this and listen to this podcast all the time, we know kind of by the numbers. And if you subscribe, we'll know more. But like with people who repost and share stuff on Instagram, it's like, these people are really, really smart, right? And there probably are great coaches. So if you're listening to this, like you can just be a good coach, or a good personal trainer. And it's like, it's really a choice, right? Can you choose to be a professional? Like, what does that look like? What's on your feet? When's the last time you bought a new pair of shoes? Do you have work shoes? Right? When someone shows up to the courthouse, they're getting those bitches polished up, wingtip Oxford, lace tie, double Windsor, got the 3-piece on, maybe throw on a nice on the wrist. It's like, but you walk in the gym with cutoffs on. Like what signal? Like you can just choose to be better. And it's like, and your quality of your life and your work life will drastically improve, right? The clients you work with will be professionals as well. Hey, I'm not going to make it in today. you dress like you wear no sleeves to work. Clients show up 50 minutes late. They don't let you know. You start organizing yourself and cleaning yourself up a little bit. Next thing you know, clients are much more proactive, right? They're paying you more. They respect your time more because they respect their time more. It's just like things just fall into place for people who choose to make this job a profession. And that's true of all professions.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's, for me, that was a pivotal point in my career when I realized, like, if someone's not getting results, it's my fault. Like, if you're someone who blames your clients, that's on you. You're self-limiting yourself right there. Like, you are the problem if you're blaming your clients for why they're not getting better. Oh, like, he goes out and drinks on the weekends, he doesn't sleep, works too much, whatever the excuse is, that's your problem. You have to figure out a way around it. And it might not be something that, you know, by the idea of, I'm a personal trainer, I work with you 1 hour 3 times a week. Like, yeah, this is outside of that hour. Like, you have to have conversations. Your job is to understand their goals, interpret them, and then give them a roadmap of how to get there, right? If you can take that on and they're not getting there, guess what? That's your fault. And the blame lies on you. And a lot of what that becomes, the better you get at personal training, it's not knowledge in the sense of, oh, should I do ipsilateral load or contralateral load? Should it be anterior loaded? Should I use dumbbells or a barbell? It's not that. It's understanding that you're working with people and having conversations that maybe you don't really want to have, having difficult conversations with these people and seeing how they react. Like, just ask open-ended questions like, hey, I know your goal was to lose some weight. Like, are you happy with where you're at? Like, what does your diet look like? What's up with this weekend? Do you realize that the things you're doing outside of these sessions have an impact on that? And kind of prying and getting them to understand. Like, we did a podcast on weight loss and fat loss last week, and like, that's a huge one for me because I don't typically do nutrition coaching. I'll talk to people like up front, like, this is what you should be doing. But when it comes to coaching, the thing that I found works best for me to get results for my clients is to get them to work with the nutrition coach, because I'm not going to fucking do that. I'm like, look, this is your goal. Like, we're making really good progress in the gym. I know someone that can help you manage the things outside of the gym, that I can just offload that fucking responsibility. And now it's like, I gave you the tool, which makes me look better, because now you're going to get closer to your goal. Because I know this person has the capacity to monitor the things that I don't have the capacity to monitor. So these variables are now being controlled. And that's the thing. It's like, you don't have to do it all yourself. But if you're not doing it, you're not outsourcing it, it's your fault if they're not having progress.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, like, your book of business, there's, I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Law Abiding Citizen.
No.
Oh, what, dude? He's a
I
favorite
know.
all time, bro. I think it's actually in Philly. It's based in Philly, so it's extra ghetto.
Yeah,
Uh,
love it.
but Jamie Foxx's character is this lawyer whose primary concern is his conviction rate, right? Like, and that's kind of a mark of a prosecution lawyer, I think. I have friends in the legal profession, and I would imagine if you're a trial lawyer, like you're a district attorney, you want to take on cases and win. This is market, like, fat clients are a mark against that top line number, right? And it's like, by any means necessary, you want to get that conviction rate to be favorable, even if it means prying to the point where your client goes somewhere else. I don't care. I could give a baker's fuck if someone goes and works with someone else, especially if the reason that they went there was because I was trying to help them reach their goals and they didn't want to be held accountable. Like, all right, like, you want a fucking babysitter for an hour? I ain't your bitch, right? Like, I'm a lot of things, but I'm not a fucking babysitter, right? And this is not like entertain for an hour. I'm not your therapist. Other outsource,
Yeah.
out the door. I'm not fucking. I'll listen to you talk, and we can talk about the Lions versus the Bucks or whatever. But like, the daddy issues and shit, you take that shit somewhere else. But it's like having, there's that book, having like the confidence to be disliked or something along those lines. It's like, the people who like me are the people who I got the result that they paid for me to get.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, it's like, I have people, I know I've worked with people who like maybe temperamentally don't like me, which like, I can be a relatively disagreeable person. You know, God bless you for dealing with me for fucking, what is it, 14 years or 15 years. But at the end of the day, like, they're professionals and their time means something to them. So even if they don't like my tattoos or they don't like my, they just don't like my face. I got a dumb face. Sure, man. Like, you know, people I walk by, I'm like, yo, that guy's got a punchable face.
Yeah.
But, you know, as the prophet Lil Wayne once said, be good or be good at it. Right. And it's like, if you're good at it, it doesn't matter. And the best part is that's a bilateral respect. Right. You have people, I've had plenty of clients who, like, we do not necessarily get along, but they know that I'm so driven in getting the result they want, and I'm so capable of doing that, that's how they are in their job. They walk into jobs every day where people don't fucking like them. Like, it is a rarity. And I think people forget this because a lot of people are so distant from a real job. It is a rarity for someone to go into their office every day and have everyone that they work with like them.
Yeah.
Right? Like, go to some cubicle farm somewhere where people are selling fucking life insurance. And case in point,
Yeah.
anytime someone shoots up an office, right? like that, like that is all you need to know about what the work-life balance is like for most people.
Yeah.
Like, how many people have come in, and I'm sure it's happened, but like going into a personal training gym where, like, yeah, you work with other people, you have, and maybe some are colleagues, maybe some are just, you know, personal trainers who just treat it like a job. But like, the percentage of people that you like and like you in personal training is like so disproportionate to the general workplace. Like, a client has never, and probably close to never, showed up with an AR to the gym and was like, you know what, that bitch in the coffee room fucking like, that's, I would say that there's probably 5% of the workforce who goes to an office every day who has to talk themselves out of it every morning, right? Like, I'd say 5%. Tens of thousands of people every day just go, like, they opt to leave it in the glove box. But they're one fucking, you know, bitch took all the fucking, you took my oat milk again from the fridge, from just a fucking hollow point through our job is like 99% of people will usually fuck with you, right? Because there's a transaction and it's elective and it is a service and it's preordained. Like, but if you have a client that you guys, or like, you know, you're just incompatible, right? I'm so enamored in what I do, and someone else might be so enamored in what they do that, like, there's just not, I mean, Jesus, how many software engineers have you worked with, right? Like, personality incompatibilities are like, these happen all the time. But they're probably, if they're a fucking Silicon Valley software engineer, they're probably lights out at what they do, right? And so, like, they probably don't feel a type of way about you. And I've had clients and patients like this when I was in the Valley. Like, you know, they love you when you get them a result. Yeah. But up until that point, you actually don't know if they even like you at all. And they don't know if they like you at all. They're just along for the ride. And then when you get there, like, oh, hey, I want to come in once a week for like 3 months. It's like, well, I don't really work that way, but I really liked when you got me the result, so I want to keep doing it. I'm like, I got to be honest with you, I thought you fucking hated me for the last like 2.5 weeks. And they're like, yeah, I don't know. I just, you know, they can't really look in the eye. And they go, but you're good. So I don't really care about that. So can we do that? And they go, yeah, dude, for sure. And all that comes from like taking the onus, being professional, and you know, be good at it. Get the fucking result they want, and the rest of it falls into place. And I've had people who started off that way as like, yo, I thought this guy fucking hated. Now it's a laugh. Now it's like a joke. Like, hey, remember when we first like started working together? Yeah, dude, I thought you fucking hated me. Like, I gotta be honest, I thought I fucking hated you too. And now but it was the result that bridged that gap. It was the professionalism. It was, they didn't know that a personal trainer could be a professional until I showed them. And then they're like, oh, fuck. Okay. I'm a professional too. I'm a professor of this. I'm a fucking doctor. I'm a lawyer. I'm a this. And it's like, they look at me and they introduce me to their friends. We went to fake doctor school, and they'll still introduce me to their friends. Like, oh, this is my personal trainer. And they kind of like get this like gangster swagger to them. Like, go ahead, say something. Say something. Like this, I had this fucking shoulder issue that 10 physicians couldn't solve, and this fucking guy sorted it out. So yeah, that's, and it's like you kind of sit there and go, oh, like, yeah, thanks. And then, but like, just understand that it's a profession, man. It's fucking crazy. And again, you can wake up tomorrow and be that.
Yeah, man. I'll take that one step further, because there is probably a higher percentage in this industry, personal training, where the clients like the person they're training with, right? Than most office places, most workplaces. But I think there is a skewed percentage of the amount of trainers that like their clients, right? Like
Sure.
Every trainer has clients like, oh, this fucking guy or this person. But the thing is, if you do a good job for someone, independent of that relation, it's not about being friends, right? Or else you guys would just be friends. There's people that I've worked with that I never want to see outside of it. If you're not paying me, I don't want to know about your existence ever. But if you're paying me, I'm going to be a professional. I'm going to work for you, and I'm going to do the best that I could fucking do, because that's me. That's my reputation that's on the line. And I'm not going to let me not liking someone get in the way of them getting results. So that's one side of it. And the other side is, it's the sweetest compliment. It is the best when there's someone that doesn't like you, like, yeah, you're good at what you do. You like, I can't go to anyone else. I don't even like you, but these are the results that I'm getting from you, and I can't deny that. That's like, hey, whatever. You don't have to like me, but I'm fucking good at it. And that's like, a funny example is that the gym I worked at for the last decade, the owner didn't really like me, but I know, but but I was good for business. So they gave me my own program, and they gave me basically everything that I needed and wanted out of that place, because they knew it was good for business, right? And that's, if you can be that type of person, like, it's not dependent upon liking people. We've done business with people that we don't particularly care for, we don't particularly like in the past, but if it gets results, like, that's what you're there for, right? If you can get those results, and that's it. So being a professional is like, this isn't about being friends. This is about holding people accountable. This is about asking the hard questions. It's about getting results. And the big thing that people, if they're paying you for a service, they're not paying you to enable them or to facilitate the lies that they're telling to themselves that are standing in the way of their progress. They're paying you to be honest with them. And a lot of times, if you're friends with someone or someone's friends, they're not going to be honest in the way you can be if you have a professional relationship with them. You can be very fucking objective. And that's something I've always leaned into, is just objectivity in those hard conversations, right? Like, hey, like, you're not going to be able to have the level of performance that you need if you're not eating, if you're not sleeping, if you're going out and drinking every weekend. And like, performance is dropping off. So there's no way we're going to be able to accomplish your goals if this continues. And that is objective. Like, I'm just observing what's going on. It's not, there's no emotion in that. Like, I don't give a fuck if you lose weight. It doesn't affect me, aside from the fact that, like, I'm the guy that you're paying to do this. So it looks bad on me if you're not doing this. So I'd rather have that conversation and use these objective things to show you exactly why you're not getting the results that you're having, more so as an insurance to me. Like, I'm not going to let you blame me for this when you're the problem. And I'm going to let you know that you're the problem. And that's what you're paying me to do. So even if you don't like hearing that, like, this is what you need. And this is what you're paying me for.
Love it. I love it. And I mean, again, I'm going to circle back to, like, the best part is you can just start.
Do it.
Right? Like, you can show up 5 minutes earlier tomorrow. Right? Like, you don't need a fucking David Goggins in your ear. You don't need Eric the street preacher. You don't need any of it. You're just like, okay, I'm gonna, like, put aside some cash on my next thing, and I'm gonna, like, and I'm gonna focus on that, and then I'm gonna ask the harder questions, and when I get the answers, I'm gonna go find them, right? And then maybe I do need to know more about nutrition. Maybe I need to find a nutrition coach I can work alongside with. Maybe I do need to know more about, actually everything's been good, and let's okay. But it's like, you don't know until you start asking those questions. but like start. Like, what are you waiting for, man? Like, I don't get, because man, how many conversations I have, like, I want to be a better coach. It's like, I get it. Like, you and I get, the phone rings for us to solve complex problems, and that's fucking cool. Like, you know, the ACLs or the reconstructions or the post-op whatevers or the grade strain that's got to be back in a couple of, okay, cool, yeah. And just being really, you know, well read about this stuff, and does it help? Yeah, 100%, absolutely. But is that going to be what most people build their business on? No. It's going to be the show up 5 minutes early. It's going to be the things that you don't have to become. That's it, right? Yeah. It's like someone, and again, like, you know, we're going to pitch L1 at some point, maybe not, because it sounds kind of stupid now, but like, if you think about it and the conversations I have, especially when we get into level 2 and level 3, it's like, and we just got off a handful of prep calls for level 3 coming up here at the beginning of next year. And it's like, is there anything I should like learn or read before? It's like, God damn it, man. You're missing the fucking point. Be where your fucking feet are. Be useful. Be of service. Right. But like, don't do that when you show up in Tampa. Do that tomorrow. Right. Like, imagine if these athletes, and this is what I've kind of like, I don't know if there's a tagline for L3, but it's not about training professionals. It's about becoming one. It's about being one. Sorry. That's probably a better way to word it. And it's like, what would you do tomorrow if your clients were playing Monday Night Football?
Yeah. And in a very honest way to like talk about the level 1 around this is, I've never been in a situation in my professional career that is more impactful than connecting with level 1, 2, 3 coaches about people that do want to be better. Right. And that's the network of coaches and the quality of coaches that pursue bettering themselves, whether it's through education, whether it's through networking, whether it's through just having conversations and asking questions. That's what the level 1 has been for me. There's no way I would be as good of a coach, as good of a trainer. There's no way I would have made the career out of this that I have if I wasn't able to have those conversations every single day at the volume I am, with the amount of people and the quality of people that I have. So if we're going to tie this back to level 1, I think that's the thread right there.
Boom. L1 starts October 27th. First lecture with your boy. I'll probably be right here, but we take it on the road because we actually do this shit. Registration, www.pre-script.com/PSL1, or it's on the homepage. If not, we'll see. Anything else? Closing remarks? I think we nailed it. We landed that.
Yeah, we landed it. We got there. Don't cancel me and subscribe so that you can hear more of this. That's
Spotify, Apple, iTunes, YouTube. Leave a review. See you next week.